I wanted to love this film. I really did. But I'm sorry to say, wasted opportunity fits the Hunger Games perfectly. And before you say anything, I love the books. The books are terrific. They're just immense. So I went into the first Hunger Games film hoping it would to follow the book perfectly. And it didn't. I really wanted to love this film, but there's just too much to go against it that makes it feel like a wasted opportunity. As always, let's have a look at how the Hunger Games flows out and what the plot is. The Hunger Games is set in a dystopian future. America has been ravaged by war and fire and weapons. Emerging from the ruins of a quarreling country is the nation of Panem. Consisting of Panem is 12 resourcing districts, all in very poor condition, and the technologically advanced capital, under the realm of President Snow, who frankly makes Colonel Gaddafi look like David Cameron. 75 years before the Hunger Games starts, as in the books, the districts, including a 13th, attempted to rebel against the capital and failed. District 13 was destroyed, and as punishment for the rebellion, once a year, a boy and a girl from each district is sent to the capital in a fight to the death that will see the winner set for life and will serve as a reminder to the districts that the capital is unforgiving and brutal. It seems to be a bog standard games this year, but two certain nominations or nominees in the names of Katniss Everdeen and Peter Millark are chosen. They're different because Katniss is a rare volunteer, volunteering in the place of her first time nominated sister Prim, and Baker's son Peter Millark. Once there, a sort of romance starts to develop, and it's sort of developed into the games, with District's 12 nominations becoming the star-crossed couple. In the arena, Katniss and Peter must fight to survive against brutal other nominees who have been trained for the games all their life and emerge somehow as lovers because a spark is felt, so to speak. The first sign when I felt this film was going to be a bit of a wasted opportunity was actually the first scene, because it featured a speech that was said by Katniss in the book, said by Claudius and Caesar about the capital and the games. It was done by them in the first scene. I know it's hard to do a film from someone's point of view. In the books it was done from Katniss's point of view alone. It'd be hard to do it in the film, but I would have preferred it because Katniss's voiceover who did it. Stick him with the books. Another bit that felt out of place, though still very sort of, what's the word, appropriate, is when Katniss is mourning the death of her friend Rue. Rue, the district that Rue is from, they see Katniss what is doing and they spark to riot. They riot against the peacekeepers as a show of their anger. That was hard hitting and very well done, but like I said, not featured in the book, a bit out of place for my taste. Another thing I disliked, Katniss and Peter's relationship. Now before you go anywhere, in the books I thought it worked tremendously well. It was very well drawn out. They came across as not very knowing of each other at the beginning, then slowly realising they do know each other, and towards the end very much in like a relationship as the star-crossed lovers of the Hunger Games. But in the films, it just felt so rushed. I mean, you only saw cursory flashbacks to how they first met when Peter had accidentally burnt bread and gave it to Katniss. It was shown through flashbacks. It was shown written very detailed in the books, and they just show it through flashbacks with not much shown, to be honest. And throughout the rest of the film, it's just not done as effectively as it should be in the books. It seems a bit rushed. They miss a few key bits out. I know that the film is supposed to be fit into just over 2 hours, but Peter Jackson got as much as he could do for the Lord of the Rings books. They were very long, so their films were made very long as well. Surely it would have been better to have the Hunger Games drawn out to longer so you can get more detail in there. Something else that annoyed me about this film wasn't quite the film itself, it was more the promotion, the advertising, the merchandise. Capital makeup. Did the people making the merchandise actually read the Hunger Games? The Capitol is brutal, tyrannical, and pretty much dictatorial over the districts, and they're showcasing Capitol makeup like it's a good thing. Hello, the Capitol are the bad guys of the books. President Snow is a complete bad guy, so are most of the Capitol citizens, and the merchandisers are making it out as if they should be supported, condoned, praised by having merchandise centred on them. Why? As I say, the books are marvellous. But this first film adaptation just felt rushed and so many out of place scenes. And if I'm being honest, some of the casting was a bit hit and miss. Now before you say anything, Donald Sutherland as President Snow is spot on. Now, Donald Sutherland's a terrific actor, a legendary actor, appeared in a ton of things, and he fits the role of President Snow perfectly. Simply perfectly. How he can be portrayed as evil, but having some kind of justification in his actions. How he wants to try and keep the capital in control, keep the districts in control. He wants his whole world to be perfect. It's just like Snow. Keep everything perfect. The same can be said for Peter Malark, the guy who played him. I've actually forgotten his name for a minute. But he fit his role perfectly. As innocent, unknowing, sort of not like how Katniss was brought up, having lost her father when she was very young. Having lost him in a mine accident. Peter, of course, is just all innocent. He doesn't know the full truth of the Capitol. And that I kind of liked. And it's good to see how it's developed over the course of the books. Jennifer Lawrence. Well, Katniss is 16 in the book, but Jennifer Lawrence was 21 when she took over. Not anything against her, she's brilliant, but surely it would have been better to get someone a lot younger, or even do the film a bit earlier, because having a 21-year-old play a 16-year-old is a bit... I don't know. But the one thing that annoyed me about this film was Kaito. Now, he's your bad guy for the first book and the first film, but he is just the biggest cliche ever. He's the very definition of smug git, who sees himself as overpowering, better than everyone else. That cliche has been done to death. It was done in Battle Royale, for instance. And to be honest, it was shown the cliche in Battle Royale was shown a lot less, but at least he had development. Kaito was just all like, I'm smug, I'm a git, I want to kill everyone, I'm determined to do everything I can. Now, of course, the name of the Hunger Games is to win, but he just came across as annoying and a complete cliche, to be honest. And that's the one thing I dislike the most about the Hunger Games. Everything else trails and pales even in comparison. But like I say, I didn't hate this film. There were some bits I loved. I loved the action sequences. I loved the weeping. I loved some of the acting. But like I say, it just felt like a complete wasted opportunity. So many bits missed out. Casting was a bit hit and miss. Katniss and Peter's relationship just felt a bit rushed. It just didn't feel like the first book. That's why I'm going to Catch Him Fire, hoping that version will be better than the second book in the Hunger Games trilogy. But for now, I have to say I prefer the books, hands down. Oh, and Josh Hutcherson, who plays Peter. Forgot for a minute, but now I know. Josh Hutcherson.